Eastern. But let's talk about it now, because Jamal Murray, first-time All-Star, he's averaging career highs in points, in assists, and threes. He's just one of two players averaging 25 points, 5 assists on 40% shooting from beyond the arc this season. Who's the other player, you might ask? Well, that would be his teammate, right? Nikola Jokic, the only other duos in NBA history to put up those numbers for an entire season. That would be KD and Kyrie, that was in Brooklyn, and KD again with Steph Curry in Golden State. And then as for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown is just over 29 points a game. They are on pace to be the third most in Celtics history. And with Boston on the road tonight, it is worth mentioning that Brown is on pace to be the first player in Celtics history to average 30 points per game on the road. But will he play tonight? It is the second night of a back-to-back for Boston. So for more, we welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what is the latest with Jaylen Brown, who was out yesterday with that right knee contusion?
Malika, Jaylen Brown is in. He will be playing tonight in Denver, the second night of a back-to-back. And last night they were able to rest him, sit him. He's only missed 6 games all season. He's been as durable as they come on this MVP caliber trek this season. We've seen his performances being able to lift this team, and he's going to take this opportunity tonight to again prove why he believes he's the MVP.
All right, so Jaylen Brown, good news for Celtics fans. He is in for this battle against Denver. But the big question all season long for the Boston Celtics is when and if they are going to see Jason Tatum. Here's what Joe Mazzulla had to say about that on Sunday.
So did Jason practice yesterday?
He was at practice.
Did he participate in any of it?
Okay, at the risk of Shams, you giving me one of those 1,000-yard stares, what is the latest on Jason Tatum?
Malika, I'm not going to stare you down like that.
Okay,
I promise
thank
you.
you.
What I can tell you, though, is Jason Tatum has been a full go in 5-on-5 scrimmages with the Celtics. And right now, it's about him continuing to put in the time, continuing to get his conditioning up. And that comes through a number of practices and scrimmages. And there are 2 elements right now at play. One is increasing the strength in both of his calves off of that Achilles tendon injury. And the big hurdle of all of this is getting 100% there on the mental side, getting the confidence in his leg fully when he's back. The common theme that I've gotten from people around Jason Tatum is he will be back on the floor when JT feels like JT, quote, unquote. And that process, the Celtics have continued to let him lead that. He's in the driver's seat. They will take Jason Tatum's lead as far as when he feels like he's ready and cleared. And then eventually, Malika, a dozen people here, doctors, Celtics officials, Jason Tatum's side, Jason Tatum himself, they're going to gather in a room and get him to the point where he wants to be, which is in March. And as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, make a decision about whether he's able to make it back out on the floor.
Okay, so not only is it all of the actual benchmarks that the doctors and all of the medical staff and the training staff need to do to say, okay, Jason Tatum is physically cleared to play. There's also that last piece for Jason Tatum to say, which is a huge one. I feel like I am myself, like I am back, like I am ready. Shams, I always appreciate the insight and information, and I would always be down for a staring contest, but I do appreciate that that's not the route you went here. Just to remind everyone what's on tap tonight, it's at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. These are the best 2 offenses in the NBA this season. And actually, it's not even just the season. It's 2 of the most efficient offenses that we've ever seen. We're talking about in NBA history here. Mark, what are you watching in this one?
The continued dominance of Jaylen Brown. I remember talking to Joe Mazzulla at the start of training camp, or start of the season. He said Jaylen had a great training camp. He's healthy. He wants to be coached. And obviously Jason Tatum's not there, and he's filled the void with a career high in points. But he's been more of a leader. He's been more of a mentor to these guys. He's not really trying to worry about the off-court spotlight despite the Beverly Hills thing. But he's showing more personality and showing he should be an MVP candidate.
And I don't, is anyone at this point, I feel like we're starting to get a pretty good idea of who the Boston Celtics are. They're serious. The Boston Celtics are serious. Does anyone know who's Denver?
Well, when they've got their whole team, they're serious. But here's the thing: Jokic comes back from this injury. He is still putting up amazing numbers.
Insane.
He's still leading the league in assists and rebounds. But he hasn't quite been himself this last couple of weeks. Over the last 9 games, he's averaging 5 turnovers a game.
Is part of that the wrist that he's been dealing with? It's wrapped some games, it's not wrapped other games.
You know he will never
of course not.
reference it, but clearly something is off. He doesn't turn the ball over like this. And also his shooting is down. This is a guy who was shooting almost 60% before he came back from this. He's under 50% in the last 9 games. Something's off with him. By the way, their whole team in the clutch has been subpar. Like, you get him into a clutch game, normally you got Jokic and Murray.
Especially against a shorthanded Golden State Warriors team like the other day.
They're 1-5 last 6 clutch games. They've got a losing record in the clutch this season. So Denver obviously need to get healthy. Their defense hasn't been strong, but their clutch play with Jokic isn't been good either.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that they're looking for that final boost, and you need that momentum to carry you through the playoffs. But every time I think about the Denver Nuggets, and sorry that I picked this off, this is my octo.
Sticky.
That's my little
it always
sticky.
makes that little noise.
I look, and I'm always in shock because on our beautiful ESPN app, I know you can't see it, but I scroll.
Think anyone can read? I need glasses to read that little font.
I scroll, and it's like, okay, who's the leader in points? Oh, it's Jokic. Rebounds, Jokic. Assists, Jokic. Steals, 1.4, Jokic. And then you look at the graphic to start the segment. Don't sleep on this fact. Best offenses in history through 2 different ways. Even though Jokic, it may be a down year where he missed a number of games, he himself tilts he bends passes like that, but he's bending history with his talent. But then on the other side for the Boston Celtics, the fact that Joe Mazzulla's system can withstand the loss of someone that's all-team NBA, first-team All-NBA, someone that's an NBA champion in Jason Tatum, and still get the performance that they're getting. Don't sleep on these 2 teams. One goes through an amazing offensive player, and another is just an amazing system that has really gone through analytics and created these offenses that are juggernauts.
When I caught up with Nikola Jokic over the All-Star break, I asked him, when this team is healthy, do you believe that you are one of those ones, a team that can win a championship? And he said that there are 5 or 6 teams, he thinks the Boston Celtics one of them, that could realistically win the championship this year. And I said, well, what about your Denver Nuggets? And he goes, we're a dark knight. A dark horse? A Dark Knight. There's a little lost in translation there. If the Joker is talking about the Dark Knight, then that's probably a good thing.
I'm picking them.
Exactly. But he sees them as just maybe outside of those top contenders. We'll learn a lot tonight. So let's go head-to-head. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook here. Chiney, more points. I'm going to start with you. Derek White or Mr. Murray?
It's got to be Mr. Murray, especially with them having to be clutch late. I expect the ball to be in his hands. So, yeah.
All right. Jamal Murray, Shanae is going with. Brian, how about we stick with points here? Should we do Peyton Pritchard and Christian Brown?
So, look, this is the second night of a back-to-back in Denver. Historically, you're going with the Nugget here, but Peyton Pritchard,
he's been...
I'm not going to get Peyton Pritchard. I'm not doing it. I won't do it.
You hear the man. More points, Jaylen Brown or Nikola Jokic here, Mark?
Ooh, Vucevic knows them from their European days, and Nikola.
I was like, well, we're winding up here. I didn't say more of a chance at a triple